It's the 28th, Tuesday the 28th of 2020. Oh, and it's also April, isn't it? And I'd like to introduce my next guest. It is... Oh, Lordy. Gethyn Ellis.
Gethyn, you've got my name.
Well, right. Before we start, let's get the clapperboard out. I'm going to write on that one day.
You should.
And here we are. So this is why I needed to, I'm really bad with, sorry. I'm really bad with names. I have to apologise.
No.
Hello, Gethyn. Thank you for coming on and having a little bit of social interaction. What are you drinking?
I am drinking. I was going to get a coffee, but then I thought it might keep me up, so I'm getting myself a Peroni.
And you're streaming live from your sauna.
I am live from my sauna, yes, my shed. So, a bit of a story behind my shed. I used to have an office in the house, but my wife decided to turn it into a walk-in wardrobe, so I got relegated to the garden, and I'm now in the garden shed.
All right, okay. Was it a tiny office, or has she just got a massive walk-in wardrobe now?
It wasn't the biggest office in the world. It was the smallest bedroom in the house. But now she has a reasonably sized walk-in wardrobe. Right. And I've got a slightly bigger office because the shed is bigger than it.
All right, so I'm going to play a little game because Gethyn, I thought it'd be nice to chat to a Welshman. And technically I probably still am Welsh. And since he's also helping run a conference, we're going to play a game and we'll see how far we can get through the conversation without him mentioning the name of the conference. And we'll see how that
can be quite good at these games, Mark. Warn you now.
Well, as long as you're not better than Rob Saul, who loves to stay quieter, who beat me on how silent can you be? How quiet can you be on a podcast? Lots and lots of dead air. Lots of dead air. Done that, done the clapperboard, and how are you? Do we want to tweet out where we are? So
yeah, you tweet it and I'll retweet it.
So it's not yet. So let's see how far we can get through the conversation. I've muddled that up. Okay, yeah, we're live on the YouTubes. Let me tweet in home. How do I see what? Okay, chatting live with. Oh, we've got some stickers. Sorry. Oh, God, I'm so. I'm like, something. Oh, butterfly. On the YouTubes, pop the link in, and then you can retweet that. And
also, you tag me.
Yeah. Okay, that's just gone. Sorry, I've just seen that Kevin's tweeted up a picture of some stickers.
The stickers are very good, but as we're in sort of like social distancing and the organisers of the conference I'm working on are spread across Europe, we haven't seen said stickers yet.
Well, I've seen them. In fact, we should probably put that.
I've seen photos of them. I've not seen.
I see. You've seen them in real life.
Yeah.
It's been.
But
how have you been?
They look very good.
I saw you.
I've been good, thank you.
I'm going to say Day to Scotland, but it wasn't. It was Sequel Saturday.
It was Sequel Saturday Edinburgh. We saw. It was the 1st of February, I think. I think it was the 1st of February.
See,
you were in a very big T-shirt for your little frame. It was very baggy.
Yeah, that's a blessing and a curse of losing weight. Is your clothes don't fit anymore. Just introduce yourself, because when did I bump into you? When did I first meet you? It was either at Sequel Bits or Sequel Relay or something like that.
It was potentially sequel bits, maybe 2009, but it was more likely sequel Saturday in Exeter in 2013. The first one, I think, they did in Exeter.
Oh,
it was one of those two. It's been a while. It's been a while.
Yeah, and I didn't realise that it's Gethyn Ellis Industries. It's not just. I thought you were just a contractor or working with someone. I didn't know you were like you ran your own business thing.
Well, I started off as a contractor, but we have morphed. I've morphed, and we've got bigger and expanded a little bit, and it's been quite good. We've got only a small team. There's like 3 or 4 of us doing various different things, mainly around the data platform, but there are some other bits in there as well. Around sort of organizational change and a little bit of psychology and a little bit of recruitment, but it's still mainly data platform specific. So we do like all the usual stuff: modernization, cloud migration, performance tuning. We can do some managed services. We can look after your databases for you. But it's contracting where it all started out, and then it kind of morphed into, well, this client wanted 2 days, and this client wanted a little bit of this and a little bit of that, and they just kind of all bundled and grew, and we've kind of expanded a little bit. So it's worked out quite well over the last.
Well, yeah. I mean, it sounds pretty cool. I mean, plus you've done it as your name instead of coming up with like a random word like Google or Coeo or Microsoft.
So back when I started blogging, which is when I was contracting and consulting on sort of one gig at a time clients, I kind of followed Brent Ozar and his path on having your name as your brand, and that's kind of where that came from. So I got GethynEllis.com years and years ago, probably 10 years ago now, if not longer than that. I've had the blog since. We've just gone through a bit of a revamp at the start of the year, so it looks completely different to how it's looked for a very long time. We got some logos designed and some branding done, and it's been going really well.
Yeah, cool.
So yeah, I'm not very inventive, so I thought, well, I'm giving me a good name and I like it, so I'm going to stick to that for the business name. It's not the official business name; it's just our trading name. There's a company behind it, but it's not as exciting as GethynEllis.com. That's for sure.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, I think when I was contracting, we had a bit of a not I would say argument, but we had discussion about what the name should be, and I quite like Norfolk and Good. Because it works with everything. Yeah,
it does. It's really good, but you might not get a lot of business. You know what I mean?
Well, it was going to be Norfolk and Good Consulting.
my mate's got a fantasy football team called Norfolk and Chant.
Yeah, that's how it works, isn't it? That's how it's supposed to be.
Did you get voted down on that? I hope you did.
I did, yeah. But if I ever go contracting again, that's what it's going to be. I mean, I did actually check. Other people have got very similar names, so yeah. I just thought it would be entertaining, people signing out checks. Yeah. After that, looking twice,
signing contracts.
Yeah. So, what have you been up to?
What have I been up to? I've been organising the virtual conference you mentioned.
What was that? Sorry, I missed that.
The virtual conference. I'm helping organise, as you alluded to earlier, Mark, and the little game we're playing. You're not going to get me yet. Give it some time. That's been quite consuming. And whilst obviously we're in the midst of coronavirus and COVID-19, the business has been ticking over. Fortunately, we've managed to keep most of our customers, and the business is still going. So that's full time, sort of 9 to 5 or 9 to 6 or 8 to 6, and then the conference takes over after that. So it's been a month of not a lot of sleep and lots of work, but it's been very enjoyable. And,
so is this the kind of the first conference you've organised, or is it?
It's the first full-on conference I've organised. I've done lots of webinars, and we obviously offer some training as well. So I've organised lots of training events and things like that. But I've been involved in lots of training events. But it's the first full-on conference I've organised, and it's been a very steep learning curve. It's been very, very enjoyable.
Oh, okay. So for the people that don't do this kind of thing, what have you learned?
What have I learned?
And forget all the
I've got a
questions I was
series of
going to
LinkedIn
ask.
posts on this, but I've learned that you can't, if you want to have a big conference, and this is turning into quite a considerable sized event. I think we've got attendees signed up from every continent, with the exception of Antarctica, I think, although Kev was trying to hunt someone down that he might know in Antarctica to make sure we got all the continents included. You need people, and you need good people to scale, and we've got a good organising team. We've got some awesome volunteers. We've got some tremendous speakers, including yourself. And we've got a lineup that's just pulling people in. Watching the sign-ups tick over the last few days has been phenomenal. I think we're up to not quite 700 at the time we went live this evening, but it's not far off it.
Sorry, 700.
700 sign-ups we have.
How many were you how many were you hoping for? So when you first started.
So I'm always like, if you don't aim, you don't get there. I wanted 1,000 when we first started. Right? That was my aiming for it.
Yeah.
When I often thought we could do it, but some of the guys in the team, look, if we get 500, we've done well. Any more than that's a bonus. We're very happy with 700, and with four days to go, or 3.5 days to go. We had a fabulous weekend and a fabulous couple of days today. If that tails off and goes back to the sort of the sign-ups we were getting before, we'll end up with about 850 people sign up. And with a free event, you always get some people drop out on the day. So even with a 50% dropout, we'd end up with a really good amount of people. But hopefully we don't get that many, and we get a nice full event and a full conference. But it's been really good.
So how do people sign up?
So I'm gonna lose you. Dataweekender.com. Go there, find the schedule. There it is.
Sorry, we got this. Sorry. I need to go to me. I went to the wrong camera.
You're all right. You look good.
Such a rubbish director. If you try presenting and directing and producing, my life is so hard. So Data Weekender. So in fact, what I've been doing in the background while you've been talking is I've got wrong scene, desktop, screen and me. That's it. So you're currently over the top of the Data Weekender website, floating above it.
Oh no.
So what technical challenges? Because I'm a geek. I'm actually interested in kind of how you're doing it. So what software are you using for kind of the event?
For the actual event, we're using Teams. We've got a few. From sort of conception to delivery is going to be about 30 days, so it's quite a quick turnaround on the event. So we've had to do lots of things very, very quickly. A lot of the guys on the committee have got Teams tenants and stuff that we could have used. Zoom was mentioned initially, but they had a huge amount of security issues when the lockdown first happened, and people started Zoom bombing and a bunch of other stuff came out. But Teams was always probably most of the team's first choice anyway, and security issues around Zoom just kind of ruled itself out. So we've gone with Teams. It seems like it's going to work really well. Looks like it's very capable of supporting it. We've got a few practice runs lined up for volunteers and speakers later on this week. Definitely one Friday, maybe one Wednesday, where speakers and volunteers can just come along and get a feel for it, work out how they're going to get themselves set up. We got 6 tracks. We ended up with 42 speakers. Call for speakers was amazing. We had like 200 sessions submitted from 76 different people, MVPs and MCMs and MCTs and a whole bunch of other really quite awesome community contributors. And when we had to pick, and we decided we'd do call for speakers, see what number we had, and then work out the sessions that we were going to put on offer. And when we started, we were like, it'd be nice to do 2 tracks. Well, we got 6 tracks of 7 sessions running all day Saturday. And there's just the content's amazing. I'm looking after room 2 or track 2, which is where your session is in.
So how do we? Oh, so we can look at the. Sorry, I'm just on the website now, so I can click on schedule at the top.
Should be a schedule button on there somewhere.
Sorry to make your life hard.
That's okay. So if you go onto the schedule on the website, you'll see there's Teams Room 2. That's the track I'm looking after, but you can see there's 6 of them there. Start at 7:45 UK time, and we've got Ben Wiesman kicking off.
What?
Then we've got.
You can't start at 7:45.
On
a Saturday morning.
So it's a European conference, you see. So for our European friends, add an hour on. It's 8:45 there. So that's what time we're starting on a Saturday morning. But I can't remember what time you're on. I think you're session 6. Yes, we got Synapse, and I'm looking forward to that. That's a session I'm looking forward to. But you also kindly volunteered, which we are very grateful for, and you're going to be helping me moderate rooms all day. So you're going to be on the 7:45 stop, Mark.
For fudge's sake! when did I? I remember volunteering. Oh, all right. Okay, all right.
I've got to send out my volunteer and speaker email yet. So this is probably news to a lot of people, including yourself. You're in my team for the day, so we're going to be starting nice and early, mate. Set your alarm.
All right. Well, I was going to make this a nice interview, but now forget you. All right. Let's go back to the schedule. Let's screen. That's cool. So you can see where they are. You've got I see. So in the later on, you've got some guys from the US, Glenberry. Who's Chris? I mean, there's lots of people I've never heard of.
Who have you never heard of?
I don't know who Matt Gordon is. Jess Pomfret.
Mark Gordon was presenting at. He presented at Bits, the last sequel Bits. He's from the US, I believe. I think Jess. I think she organises the sequel Fantasy Football League. I think it's her that organises that. I might be wrong. I stand corrected if I am, but I'm almost certain she does. And we got. I never say Bob's last name very well, but I think it's called Pusateri. I don't know if I said that right. Based in Chicago. He's in our track, so we'll get to watch him.
Right.
We got Rob Sewell presenting last as well. So the last session, well, they're all awesome. The last session, there's some really good guys in there too. So it's worth staying all day.
So they're going to be live, and so the plan is everyone does their 60-minute session. I assume 50 minutes, and then Q&A, or is it a full on?
So well, again, because we were doing this not blind, that's the wrong word. We were doing it quickly. We opened the call for speakers. We said, look, if you've got a 45-minute session, submit it. If you've got an hour session, submit it. And people did. So there's some 45-minute sessions in there. There's some 50 minutes, some 60-minute sessions. Most of them are 60 minutes, but there are some short ones, and that's all absolutely fine. But it means once they finished at the end, they've got 15 minutes either to do questions and chat, and there's going to be like a room that people can spin off to if they overrun before the next session, to go and have that sort of conversation if they want to do that afterwards. But they've got that 15 minutes, 8 to 11 for Q&A, and we got a team of moderators. Each room's going to have 3 moderators, so it's me, you, and Ben doing track 2. So we'll be there to help speakers change over, pick up some questions, and help them with questions and that kind of thing, just to make sure it runs as smoothly as we can, really, or as smooth as it can.
Well, yeah, and for the first time you're running stuff, you always get a few technical hitches, and then it will get smooth through the day.
Yeah, exactly. But we're going to try and practice as well. So we've got some rehearsals lined up later in the week where we're hoping to iron out any sort of major bugs, which should be fun. So practice makes perfect.
Are you doing a normal Teams call or a Teams live? Is it a live event or a live call? The one where
I think there is a live. I think you drew my attention to that. We're using just Teams. It's just a Teams. It'll be a Teams URL. People can jump in for each of the tracks. The meeting will run all day, so people can come in and out of the various different sessions. So you can switch between the calls easily enough, and they'll get sent all the links to do that. And but it's just one call all day, so we just sit on it like we are now for 8 hours as people come in and out, and set up the speakers and send them on their way.
All right. And I presume they're going to be recorded then?
No, we're not recording the sessions. That was a decision we made to make our lives simple, so we didn't have to manage videos and stuff. I'm sure we could have done it if we'd have either had a little bit more time or a little bit more inclination. We thought, well, if it's all recorded, what we didn't want was 1,000 people signing up and 1,000 people going, oh, we watch it on video. So we've kind of gone, well, and because we didn't know, we would have to have done some work on getting that set up. We just didn't for this one. But if we ever run it again, I'm sure there might be a video option, because we have spoken about it at length. But just to keep things simple, we didn't.
No. I mean, no. There's no criticism. I mean, I was talking with Rob because there's a PowerShell conference and other user group leaders if you record it, so they're doing a completely different way, and obviously if you go back through the YouTube videos, listen to the Rob Sewell one or the podcast version of this, just search for Geeks on screens plural with coffee, then you can get to it. Takes you to a lovely website that I did on Sunday night. But we were talking that if you record it, then you'll get less people will turn up because they'll know the recording. So you'll get less people, but you have that longevity that people can come back, and so it's
6 and 2 3s in my opinion. I was probably for recording it, but people are like, oh, then we've got to manage videos and there's going to be enough to do, and we don't know how well everything's going to work because we haven't got a lot of time to test. So it was like, well, it's for this, it's just not record it. Keep it simple. Keep it as simple as possible.
Yeah, well, I mean, when you're doing stuff, and as you said, I can't remember who I think Kevin was saying that a few people just on Twitter went, oh, is anyone doing a conference? And you guys just went, yeah, we'll do one.
Yeah, that's pretty much
put it together.
Kev sent out a tweet on a Thursday. Me and him spoke on a Saturday, and then by the Tuesday there was 4 of us or 5 of us. And then by the Wednesday morning there were 6 of us, and then we were up and running and going, and it's snowballed. It's been quite amazing to just see it like travel down the hill, and we're getting close to delivery time now, so it's getting a bit like squeaky bum time, as Alex Ferguson would say, but we're getting there, and it's
delivery.
It's exciting as well.
Said in the true project manager way. You didn't say go live, you said delivery. Wasn't a relief. Oh, how times have changed.
Yeah, indeed.
All right, I'm gonna get us back on track, and Gethyn, what's your favourite cheese?
What's my favourite cheese? Oh no, see, I thought about this because I don't know if your viewers know this, Mark, but you do send some of the questions out beforehand.
Don't wreck the magic.
It's not the magic. It's just it's good. It's a good thing to do. I was chatting about this to my wife, and she's going, "Oh, that's a really good thing to do." So you can, make sure you've got answers to the questions. I'm like, that takes the stress out of it. I'm like, does it? I got to work out what my favourite cheese is. But I would have to go for Camembert, cooked in the oven in its dish, so it all goes melty and gooey with some crusty bread to dip in. Lovely. Bit of red wine. Lovely, jubbly.
All right, you should go back and listen to Alex's one, because he gives a very similar answer, but then spends another 15 minutes talking about which is the best wine to then have.
It's got to be Rioja.
Honestly, I can't remember which one he picked. Right,
I will watch this.
Let's go with some questions, and then we'll go back to your conference again.
Okay.
These are kind of my emergency questions, not Richard Herring's emergency questions. We will get onto his later.
Yeah.
Do you know the sound of one hand clapping?
Yeah.
You see, you got it, but other people don't. It's Same wavelength.
I'm quite worried about that.
What's the best thing about the virus? Not having the virus, just
There's been a few good things come about because of the virus. I co-invented, before I got involved with Data Weekender and running a virtual conference to hopefully fill the gap by all the sort of in-person events that got filled. There's obviously that, which is a great deal. I co-invented Skype Darts with my good friend Mark Hawkins, which is pretty much like this, but we play darts. You might be able to see my dartboard in the background there.
I did wonder what that was.
So you play darts online, which is pretty cool. And then you read stuff like how the pollution levels have dropped, and you see animals. Like, obviously, I'm from Wales, and you're from Wales as well, Mark, aren't you?
I'm not from Wales, but my dad's Welsh. So
your dad's Welsh. I knew you had sort of like connections there. There's sort of like the wildlife just coming back into like the towns and stuff. The some stuff. The sheep's coming off the mountain. There's goats up in Llandudno walking around the high street because there's nobody there, and the pollution levels are full. So there's some silver linings to it, and I get to spend a lot of time with my family, which is obviously something that when you're working all day and they're in school and the wife's working and the baby's in nursery, you don't get to do. But it's got some good points to it.
Yeah.
Even though obviously it's a terrible.
When you come out of your sauna, you can then go and talk to the family and then go back to another sauna.
That's right. Oh, they'll all be in bed by the time we're finished in the end.
So how tidy is your workstation?
Not very, mate. No, not very tidy. Would you like to see it?
Well, of course.
Is that what you're getting at?
Yeah. But it's just rude to go show me where. Oh, look, you got a nice mic as well. That's not too bad.
It's all right. Yeah, it's all right.
What's the book?
The book. Oh, you've got a question on that, so I brought it in.
Oh, okay.
The book I'm reading.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But I'll show you it. It's The Naked Statistics by Charles Whelan.
Oh, yeah. That's
It's a really good book.
I've done the audiobook version because.
Have you?
Sorry, I got distracted by your massive hour
egg time.
Yeah, your egg timer.
Yeah, it's my time management thing. I turn that over and it lasts for an hour, and it helps me manage my time. If I turn that over and do something for an hour, then I should have finished it, unless it's something very, very complicated.
That's like have you heard of is it the Pomodoro technique?
Yes, that's where it comes from. That's where it comes from. Yeah. Yeah, it probably shouldn't be an hour, but it is, and I like it. So it's, the kids bought it for me for Christmas. I'm like, oh, I like that. So I use it for instance. I turned it over when we started talking, and
then you know when to turn off the Skype call. Oh look, Mark, your time's up. You didn't do it fast enough. You didn't deliver. You weren't on time. You weren't on budget. So tell me about the book.
The book, it's a book on statistics. So I've been looking at sort of machine learning, and not so much AI, but definitely machine learning. And to do anything really with that, you need to understand the statistics behind it. And so I've been reading lots of books on statistics, but this is the best sort of introductory book on stats that I've come across. It makes it sort of fun and interesting. And I just happened to be there. And when you said you needed a favourite book, I'd missed that question. I'm like, oh, I'll use the Charles Whelan book because it's there. But it's a really good sort of starter for 10 and gets you thinking around, thinking about the maths behind some of the models that you can use for doing some of the cool machine learning stuff.
Isn't that the one where you've got like different stories?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a real world sort of example.
He talks about like baseball, the Moneyball side of things. Is a Babe Ruth, and they give his overall score. It's like, how do you boil that down? How do you get that down to that? And why is that the best ever? And it's really interesting. But he does that for everything. So if I look at the sort of table of contents here, there's definitely a baseball stat in there about Babe Ruth.
I should.
What else we got?
I should go back and re-listen to it because I've forgotten about it. So do you listen to podcasts?
I listen to yours, and I'm not an avid listener of podcasts. I prefer sort of like blogs and and read those. I do like I pick up the odd audio book, and as you rightly pointed out earlier on, my business is growing, so I've listened to a few on sales that are absolutely appalling, and I wouldn't recommend some of those ones. It's just have to turn them off and put the radio on, listen to something else.
All right.
But I haven't really got into I like audiobooks. The ones I've listened to, they're all right, but I haven't found one that I've really, really enjoyed. And podcasts, I've picked up yours, and there's like Steve Jones I sometimes listen to.
Oh yeah. The
Server Central thing, but I'm not an avid podcast listener.
I find them useful in the car when I was doing lots of driving, and that's where I started listening to them. So what
do you listen to, mate? What do you listen to? What do you recommend if I wanted to get into it? What should I listen to aside from
all right. So we'll start you on the easy stuff, the stuff that's easy to listen to. So there is the Commode Mayo's film review on 5 Live.
Okay.
That's quite gentle. Also, I mean, I'm a big fan of Adam Buxton. So if you like, there's a news quiz. Let's have a look.
Okay.
There's a few things. There's the Frank Skinner one is quite good, and the Greg Proops, the Infinite Monkey Cage, Smartest Man in the World. Book Shambles. Ellis. I don't actually have enough time to listen to them all. Off Menu is quite good.
Okay. What's that about? Is that a food?
Yeah, it is. It's Ed Gamble and what's the other guy's name? In fact, I can just you can see that. You can't really see it on the screen, can you?
No,
it's gone to search. Right. Don't worry. Well, I'll put some links up, but I've just started acquiring them. So let's have one final question from Richard Herring's emergency book.
Okay.
So are you familiar with Richard Herring?
He's a comedian guy, yeah? Is he a comedian?
Yeah. Why does nobody really... Sorry. Yeah.
He is. He's a guy with long hair, yeah? Longish hair?
He's got long hair, yeah. Yeah, he has at the moment.
Yeah. I think I know the guy.
Plays snooker against himself. Picks up stones and does a podcast about it.
No, I've not watched a podcast, mate. Not his, anyway.
All right. So he has his...
But I did have a quick look at emergency questions. Go on, then.
So pick a number between... pick a number between 1 and 1001. And... Marchant picked some really awful ones last night.
You picked some awful ones?
Yeah.
Well, we've currently got... Oh, mate, we have just hit 700 sign-ups for a Data Weekender. So I will go for number 700.
Oh.
I've just gone on there to look, and I was going to pick the number of sign-ups we had, and it's now 700.
Oh, lovely. Please don't be that question. Please don't be that question. 700's not really a question.
Okay.
It's. Can you pick another one? How many sign-ups now?
Go on then.
How many sign-ups?
It's still 700, but I'll go for 701, the next one. Or I'll go for 666, because we were on that earlier.
Oh, what the number of the beast?
Number of the beast.
All right, that's. I mean, I was just wondering whether significant numbers are going to be. Oh, someone else has had this question, so you can have this and another one.
Good.
Have you ever been at the centre of a Twitter storm?
No, I haven't been at the centre of a Twitter storm. I don't think. No, I haven't.
All right, good.
I haven't.
All right,
I've seen a few of them unfold that have made me laugh a little bit.
Oh, okay.
But, what? It's never been my fault, or I've never been involved in it.
So go on, tell me about the ones. Can you tell me about the ones that made you laugh? Or
I don't know. No, it's
No.
probably they're either going to be political or political, but not necessarily like sort of like government politics. It might be sort of like community politics and the rest of it. So I'll just leave that over there.
Yeah. All right. Pick another one.
Okay, then I will go for 999.
Ooh, right at the end of the book. All right. Okay. So this isn't a great one, but can I please tell you in huge detail about my religious beliefs on the condition that you don't question or contradict me?
Yes.
Oh yeah. Way, all right.
Should I pick another one?
Yeah.
So what do you want on that page? It looks good, mate. Because I'll pick numbers all day, and I'll end up picking the rubbish.
Yeah, no. They're all shut up questions. There are some. Let's have a look. There are some with pictures, so they're going to be good. Okay. Right. What's the maximum number of cornettos you've eaten in a 24-hour period, and what are the reasons behind that huge consumption?
I don't really like cornettos. Probably 2. And mainly because I was on holiday and I had one sort of like each morning.
Have you never bought a box of cornettos or 2 boxes that are on a deal, and then just had to get through them?
No, mate. I don't. I like cornettos, but I don't scoff them like that. Chocolate biscuits I could do that with, but cornettos no.
All right. So obviously credit to Richard Herring. Go to his podcast, go to his website, become a monthly badger. So one final question, which is, who do you think should I interview next? And you have to make the introductions. Don't be a lazy scumbag and just give me a name. But before we get there, I'm going to put the website up in the background. Oh no, I'm listing my questions. I put up the Data Weekender website, and now's your chance to sell it. Tell people when it is it happening, why they should come along.
Data Weekender.
Yeah.
Data Weekender is a free community conference taking place this Saturday, the 2nd of May. We've got 42 sessions from around the world. There's 6 tracks, 7 sessions per track. It's going to run all day. It's going to be fantastic. We've put it on to replace some of the in-person conferences that have cancelled due to the virus. Myself, Kev, who originally came up with the idea, 4 other guys, a skier from Iceland, Magnus from Denmark, Damir from Croatia, and Mark from Ireland have all come together to try and put this conference on. We've got a call for speakers that was amazing, awesome sessions. We've got a nice number that are hopefully going to attend, and you should too. We've got plenty of room in the van.
Oh yeah, sorry, the van. Actually, tell me about the van logo.
Van logo, that's an interesting story. So Kev got married a few years ago to Sandra, and when we were coming up for names for this event, we were just trying to think of something that could run on the weekend. And like, the Data Weekender sounds like a good name. And Kev said, that reminds me of my wedding vehicle. So I was looking at Ferraris and Lamborghinis, and it was a choice between those and this VW camper van. And he did tell me the make and model of it. I'm not up on camper vans, but it looked good in his photo. So we sent this a week. This was up on Meetup and Sessionize to do the sessions. It was a picture of Kev in his camper van. And then Mark took the camper van, give it to his graphic designer, and this is the outcome with all the badges on the side. So it's basically Kev's camper van that's been re-imaged to be a bit more of a logo, and it fits in with the Data Weekender, travelling about, coming from all over Europe kind of theme, which is where it came from.
Oh, fab. All right. So who do you think should be subjected to this torturous interview next?
So, in the organising team at Data Weekend, I asked this question earlier, does anybody want to speak to Mark? And they were all like, oh, I don't know. To me, I was like, oh, I'll think about it. And Magnus was like, oh, I'm busy. But Mark Hayes put his name forward and said, next month, which is obviously Friday, he'll be up for chatting to you. So I'm going to say Mark Hayes, and I'll introduce you on Twitter to Mark. He organises the, I think it's the Cork Sequel Saturday.
Oh, okay.
He's involved in that, and he does a few other bits around Community Cafe and some other stuff too. So
fab. All right.
Nominate Mark.
All right. I'm just looking at his Twitter feed at the moment. Yep. All right. Cool. Well, thank you very much, Gethyn. You've been wonderful, and kind of, I mean, it's clearly going to be a success. Oh, I was sorry.
So fingers crossed.
I was going to ask, right? With so many sessions being submitted,
yeah,
are you going to do it again? Because
yes, probably is the answer to that. I think like so Askia and Magnus in Denmark. I was going to be talking at Iceland and Denmark if things had been different, and this may have never come to bear. But I think given the demand, and I guess we'll see how it plays out when things return to a reasonable amount of normality. But there still might be a lot of travel restrictions for a long time to come yet. So very likely, Mark, is the answer to that. But we haven't decided for certain yet. But yeah, I would say it probably will run again. But
so I'm going to take that as an exclusive. Okay. Right.
Yeah.
You cracked under pressure.
I think it will. We had so many speakers, so many people have been up for it. But for whatever reason, it might just be they couldn't get to Iceland or Denmark or Croatia, which also had an online version and of their sequel Saturdays, and that apparently run very well. So if there's demand for it, we will put one on again. And but we'll get Saturday out of the way first. But yeah,
right. Yeah.
Well, we will look to do another one, I'm sure.
If it's like any events that I've organised or been part of, the stress level builds. You get to the event and then you go, and then afterwards you go, it wasn't so bad. Yeah, we could do it again.
Yeah.
You forget about all the stress with all the endorphins.
Yeah, well, it's because of the short time frame. There hasn't been a lot of time to stress about anything. It's just been a case of getting stuff done. So I wrote a post on LinkedIn today where I was like, there's no shortcuts to doing it. You've got to do the work. You've got to get the call for speakers in. You've got to get your attendees to come. You've got to have a platform to deliver on. But between the six of us, we've managed to do that. And we've had a lot of help from, like, obviously volunteers like yourself and speakers like yourself. But there's been other people in the community that they've retweeted and supported us, and they've just helped drive up the registrations. And that's what it's all about. It's like getting it to as many people as possible, so they'll get a benefit of a free conference on a Saturday while they're not stuck at home, but they are stuck at home. They're in lockdown.
Yeah. When they have that 1 hour, well, in the UK, their 1 hour exercise. Hopefully you've allowed a 1 hour gap so everyone could go and get their allotted exercise.
No, because they can do that after, Mark. There's not enough time in the day. But there's a lunch break, obviously, but I think it's 45 minutes or 30 minutes or something like that. But
as long as there's enough.
We'll be wrapped up here in the UK.
Yeah, as long as there's enough toilet breaks, then it'll be fine.
Yeah, well, 15 minutes every hour might sure be enough, I hope.
All right, Gethyn, you've been wonderful. Thank you very much. And thank you for spending time with me this evening. And see you all later. Bye. Love you.
Yeah, talk to you later. Bye, mate. Bye.